I'm Taylor Sparks, Rhotic Educator and Sex Goddess of OrganicLovin.com, and mom of the phenomenal, the extraordinary, the almost handsome Tariq Sparks. Today we are trying the CBD CBG blend of hickory oak joint by The Hidden Creation. Yes.
It is. Please tell me your introduction to cannabis. How did you start?
Oh my gosh. So, my mother, your grandmother, sent me to school out in Wellesley, very high-end community, to get me away from all the inner city drugs.
Right.
Not realizing that the white folks in Wellesley get allowance with lots of money. So that's where my first introduction to marijuana was. In the mean streets of Wellesley. In middle school, I got introduced to weed.
Okay.
To cannabis. To weed.
To weed.
To weed. Yeah, all my white friends had weed. They had money to buy weed. You know, and back in the hood, you know, people were trying to scrounge enough together to get a dime bag. You know,
right.
It was like, you got $1, you got $1, you got I got 50 cents, I got a quarter, but God, a dime bag, you'd probably get 10 joints out of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There was, I mean, there are magazines, there are books, there's studies, there's YouTube channels, there's cooking shows, there's so much more about cannabis, even though people who were very much into cannabis, on a less than recreational, meaning that they knew the medicinal benefits of cannabis. You know, they were way older than I was, you know, at the time. But you had people like Bob Marley, you know, who was smoking cannabis and, you know, being a Rasta and talking about a plant coming from the earth and medicinal properties. But the United States and then other countries followed suit, decided to rule against it. So it became this terrible thing. Well, even before Bob Marley, God, way back in the 50s, they started calling it wacky weed. And, you know, and we know now through history that it was all done purposely because they were trying to make more money through other industries, not hemp, but through cotton and everything else. So, born in the 60s, so I was too young to know anything about it then. It didn't come to my attention until the 80s when you had this big influx of crack, you know, that was put into the communities. And so like late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, with this whole war on drugs. And so by then I was in my 20s, right? And it was just, the drugs were everywhere. And just like with any other war, you know, somebody wins, somebody loses, but somebody's supplying shit to somebody. And since black people, then and now, some, you know, don't have access to always being able to get firearms legally or get prescription drugs legally or anything like that, and you only got what was on the streets, how did they get to the streets since we didn't have the money to go out and buy tons and tons of friggin' coke and turn it into rock? So it was put there. I believe that to be true, for sure.
Do you think more people your age have always liked cannabis, and now that there's an outlet, it's legal, and they're able to talk about it more, they're more expressive about it, or do you feel like people more your age are still kind of against it?
Oh, I think that people who like cannabis, people who, no matter what age they started smoking, if they liked it, they liked it. You know, I don't know so much it's an age thing as it is either is this the thing you want to be high on? Right. So, like for me, I was introduced to it early on, or before I even finished high school. I'm like, this is not my thing. So I never liked the outcome of weed. I understood the medicinal benefits of it, the calming effect, but it was just never a good high for me. So I only smoked for a few years, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. This is not my thing.
Okay.
This is not my thing. And I don't think there was any real drug that was ever my thing. One, because I realized early on that in our family there's an addictive gene. So I was always afraid that if I got into anything, what if I got addicted? And then I had to go to rehab, and who's got that kind of money? So so I just kind of stayed back, you know. I tried a little this, a little that, but I'm like, yeah, no thank you. I don't want to get addicted.
So how have you liked CBD in your transition from having it when you were younger to now knowing that there's something that can still give you the medicinal properties, but without the high?
I think I'm the only person that gets high on CBD.
Just you're not the only person.
With the 0.3%, I'm like, I think I'm high. I really think I'm high. He's like, you're not high. I'm like, I think so. It's like, there's nothing in there. Are you sure? I'm serious. I looked into CBD for the calming effect, right? And for the focus. And I knew there were certain strains that could keep me focused. I work a lot of hours. And then I have, I think I have undiagnosed ADD or what I call SOS, shiny object syndrome. Squirrel. So I like the CBD. I'm not that big of a smoker, although I love getting the bud. And, I got this nice little toker, and I love, smoking the bud like I'm really getting high, although I'm not, although I am.
You think?
I think. I like the, because I could sit around with the smokers and smoke my CBD like I'm cool. I'm not, because I'm not high, I think. But I really like the drops. I like the sublingual, the tinctures. I love the sublinguals. I love the sublinguals. But even more importantly for my business, what really got me intrigued by the CBD was when it was added to intimate lubricant. CBD in a lubricant
is
a game changer because. So I think most of you guys know CBD. It stands for cannabidiol, and we have endocannabidiol. See, I think I'm high. Our own body has receptors for cannabidiol within our body, right? We have
the CB1 receptor and the
CB1 and the CB2, which controls, which helps the function of everything from our brain to our toes, internally and externally. So CBD within a lubricant, when applied to the female genitals, it acts as a vasodilator. It opens up the blood vessels and brings more blood to that area, which helps to increase lubrication and also helps to increase the intensity of the orgasm. So it's amazing. Used inside the vulva, it also is an anti-inflammatory, and it helps cut down on pain because sometimes
things happen.
The vagina and the vulva take beatings. Sometimes they do. Yeah, that's right. I'm his mother.
Yeah, so, great video put together.
Yeah. So it's good for pain. It's good for inflammation. It's a vasodilator, and it's good. You just want to make sure that you're getting a very high quality lubricant and something without any chemicals, no propylene glycol, no glycerin, no sugar, or anything like that. So it's good. It's a game changer sexually. It can be used anally. This is a new company that's came out with an oral lubricant.
Okay, I'm about to get that too.
We have it. I should have brought it over. I thought I gave you them. Yeah, but the oral lubricant is really good. So, because CBD taking orally helps calming effect, anxiety. So it's good overall. But now you can get it in gummies, the tinctures. You can infuse it in food, right, in butters and so forth, in oils. I think used medicinally, even if it's not like a heavy medicine, but used like to help you sleep or to help you de-stress. And a lot of people who've looked to things to be more natural are trying to get away from the pharmaceuticals. So they're trying to get away from taking aspirins and, all kinds of things that they have to keep taking all the time when they could have a gummy or have a tincture or eat something with CBD in it, or smoke a CBD joint.
Yeah.
And then it's really, really good. It's so good. I mean, there's so much research on it. You just have to look it up for yourself. But they're thinking that it's helping with dementia, and they already know that the THC plant, the cannabis plant, has proven quite effective for children with epilepsy. So by using the CBD, so you take out that psychoactive, you can now give it to children to help with epilepsy. And our body is designed to accept cannabidiol, because we have CBD receptors. So,
And it's been there forever.
and it's been there forever, forever. So, thank you for my hidden creation, CBG. And the CBG has different receptors in the body than the CBD. So, it's really, really good. And I'm not high, I think. Well, I'd like to thank you, Hidden Creations, for my CBD joint, and continue to speak highly. Bye.